really giving yourself that full 30 days is what this program is going to give you. And it's giving you the structure to get through it. And I think that's key, to really commit and stick with it, see what it delivers.
Hi, Gina. Welcome back to Staying Ageless.
Hi, Sosa. Thank you for having me back.
I'm so glad you're here. So, last time we talked about dieting and some of the pitfalls of fad diet, some of the struggles people have with dieting, and your amazing background and how you like firsthand experienced it and then translated that into a career. And this time I wanted to talk about how do we do the opposite of dieting? Like, how do we create a lifestyle change? And for those of you who don't know, Gina and I created together this program called Detox My Life. It's available on stayingagelessuniversity.com. And I think it's great if we approach this from the framework from our program because it's so powerful. So in the program, we basically have these 4 C's that help you kind of move towards this lifestyle change. And it's cleaning out your kitchen, it's committing, it's creating accountability, and it's being consistent. So I figured we could just go through these points and talk through them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Let's start with cleaning out your kitchen. I mean, that
Okay.
sounds pretty self-explanatory, but what would you
Right.
say about that?
Well, I think it is, but I think sometimes people don't really get why it's super important to really establish that change, because there could be that late night, and if you have that one thing lingering still in the cupboard, it could really call you and throw you off track. So I think really to really establish that lifestyle change, cleaning out the kitchen, getting your pantry set up with all of your essentials, and just having the foods that are on your plan to kind of detoxify your life, so to speak, is there. That's it. So I
Yeah.
think it's really essential. The first step, it eliminates that temptation
Yes.
to get off track. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll add to that that like I think a lot of people really are like, "Oh, I need to increase my willpower." And that's really the wrong way to go about things. Like really we need to make it part of habit forming is making something easy. And so when you leave that box of cookies in there and child, every time you eat one, you start eating the whole box, then you're just setting yourself up. And so not only do we want to clean it out, but sometimes we're going to actually also have to replace some of the things we got rid of so that we don't go crazy. Like if I need a cookie, then maybe I need to get a different type of cookie, or I need to make something that's not as, full of refined sugars and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think also too, it's like some people are stuck in that mentality of like, I don't want to waste. I don't want to. And I think one of the things to really enforce when you are doing it is, okay, so donate it, give it away. There are people that need it. You don't have to necessarily just throw everything out, but when you're clearing it out, donate, get rid of, and create that environment that is going to be successful. Create the success,
Yes.
yeah, for
No,
you.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't know if there's anything else about cleaning out the kitchen. I mean, I guess the only other thing I would add to that is pay attention to what you're getting rid of. Like, I think a lot of times people unconsciously stock their kitchens with stuff that's full of refined sugar, refined salt, all these additives. And it's when they have the awakening and they get some more education, like we provide the education in the program as well. It's like we're teaching you how to notice things on labels for a reason because we want you to look at the things in your kitchen and really read those labels and be like,
Yeah.
what is this? Really, what is this?
Yeah. Is it serving me? Right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
can I pronounce any of those ingredients?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it. You really shouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the next one is commit. That's a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot to say about that. What do you think?
I mean, that's huge. I mean, it's just like, I think that's why I think the first step of clearing out the kitchen is key, because it does open the door to you making that commitment, saying, like, all right, I'm committed. Like, all the junk is out of my house. This is what I'm doing. to get to reach my goal. So it's really, I mean, without that commitment, the level of success is limited for sure.
Yes.
I think,
Yes. 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 And cleaning out the kitchen is a form of the commitment. It's literally
yeah.
just being like, I'm doing this. But then also setting a concerted time, which is why in our program, we're like, listen, do all this stuff, write this in your planner, know that you're going to be doing this for the next 30 days. You make, preparations for it. You go get your grocery list, you go buy your stuff. So you're preparing yourself to dedicate yourself for a specific period of time to moving yourself towards this lifestyle change. We're not saying, oh, only 30 days and then you never will do it again. It's just more like you want to make sure that it's kind of like, I mean, we call it detox my life, but you're detoxing from a mental perspective as
Mm-hmm.
well of being like, let me just remove all the stuff I'm attached to and try this new stuff that's going to regenerate my body, regenerate my spirit, and allow me to make new choices.
Right. I mean, I think it's part of it too. Like, just to bring up the part when you said like leaving that lingering box of cookies and the so that's attached to your commitment. So when you're getting
Mm,
rid of that, it's also committing to the fact like, all right, I'm releasing it. I'm not giving myself that little just in case type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I'm committed fully. Yeah.
Yeah. And something just came up because we were having a conversation before this that will not be uttered, but I just realized that, it's like with anything in your life, when you're letting go of something that doesn't serve you, you automatically then create space for what actually you want, which
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are always like, especially with dieting and food and stuff, we kind of tiptoe. Like, let me just try this keto for a week. Let me try this. Da,
Yeah.
da, da,
Yeah.
da. And we're not really like, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I'm done with this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get the help that I need and we're going to move forward.
Yeah. And I think that's why, we decided 30 days to really give yourself that chance because like you just said, like that week on keto and then like, oh, I don't think it's working. Let me switch to intermittent fasting or low carb or something. Really giving yourself that full 30 days is what this program is going to give you. And
Yeah.
it's giving you the structure to get through it. And I think that's key, to really commit and stick with it, see what it delivers. And then by 30 days you'll really know if this is for you or
Yes.
not, like then you
Yeah.
make that decision like, all right, I need to figure something else out perhaps.
Yes. And I think this ties into the next point, which is create accountability. It ties in because I feel like what there's so many things that cause our commitment to waver. So let's say I
Yeah.
commit and I'm all gung ho, but then the next day my girlfriend's like, "Girl, you want to go to Ben and Jerry's or whatever it is."
Yeah.
And then it's out you forgot that you made this commitment. So what are the things that we need to do to create accountability that support that commitment that we made?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge point. I mean, it's also about surrounding yourself, creating that environment, and that includes the people perhaps that you're surrounding yourself with at that time to make that change. It's just like any other habit, kind of changing for people, whether it's, trying to stop drinking or trying to stop smoking. When you put yourself in a different environment around people that aren't doing those things or people that are going to fully support you to make your change,
Yeah.
and not be
Yeah.
that person that's, oh, come on, just one bite, it won't hurt you. Like, yeah, we
Exactly.
don't want those people around us right now. So,
So in my head, David Goggins is like my accountability partner. Like if I like don't work out or what, I'm like, what would David Goggins do? And you could just
right.
see him like cursing you out, screaming, like, girl, what you doing? You know what I mean? Stay hard. And you're like, oh my God.
All right.
So like I think people sometimes choose the wrong accountability partner too. They choose that person
Yeah.
who's like, it's okay. Oh, it's all right. Well, we can just do it tomorrow. And then you get into this negative habit of just like constantly giving yourself excuses.
Yeah. And I think that's, the accountability is like having that person that is going to help you throughout it. And maybe that person is on the journey with you. Maybe they've already been through the journey, or it's just that steady, hard, steady, stable, I guess, reliable family member or friend
Mm-hmm.
that's just going to stick with you through thick and thin, no matter what, changes you're making in your life. And I think we
And
all kind of know who those people
who,
are in our
right.
lives.
The enablers versus the supporters.
Yeah.
But I just want to, you were making a really good point, and I think that people also need to realize that sometimes you do need professional accountability, and that's part of what we do. Like, we
Hmm.
serve as professional accountability as nutritionists to help people get to their goal. And that's because, sometimes your cousin and Ray and
Hmm.
all them might just tell you it's okay. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Whereas, if you hired a trainer, they're
Right.
expecting you to show up. You've paid money, which is also a commitment device,
Yeah.
because when you pay for things, it gets you activated. And we use that. We use that, with all of our programs, like Staying Ageless and all these different things. It's like, if you pay for our program, then you've already, like, okay, now my money's been invested. So now I
Hmm.
got to do something because I want to get results.
Absolutely. And then it's just like, yeah, again, you just don't need that person. Oh, it's okay, girl. Monday, start over on Monday. No, you have your 30 days solid, committed, get the results. Because honestly, like, I think that's where people fall off. It's like,
Yeah,
when you allow those moments to come in, you really need to put the blinders on and give yourself that full 30 days to really detox, make the changes. Because when you let those days sneak in, all it does is push the time back, and then you're thinking it's not working, and you're getting frustrated. So
totally, totally.
accountability is huge. I don't think, for my own journeys, even still, like, without accountability, it's hard to reach the goal to some
No,
degree.
no, I totally agree. I think so. There's professional accountability,
Hmm.
there's group accountability where you
Yeah.
can join like a challenge or whatever that helps certain people. There's, your friend or your cousin or whatever. I think one of the things that our clients struggle with a lot is when their spouse
Yeah.
is out of order.
Yeah, that we come across
A lot.
more often than not.
Yeah.
But I think that's when you raise the bar on that. You know what I mean? That raises the bar for that person. And what we see a lot of times is when you take that initiative to make the change, and then somebody sees, like, all of the wonderful things that are the changes and the things that are happening to you, they jump on the bandwagon. And so
Yes.
I feel like, if you can be that person that stays strong, that second person, 9 times out of 10, they're going to fall in line.
Yeah, and
They
I
take a
I used to
second.
counsel married couples when I was at the wellness clinic, and it was
Mm.
always so interesting because you could see how healthy or unhealthy a relationship is. Because sometimes one spouse is like on purpose not supporting the weight loss journey because they were insecure about that person. I was like, oh my God, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And then the best ones were when they were like buddies and they were pushing each other and they're both like, yeah, did you do your workout? Did you do your workout? In
Mhm.
fun, not
Yeah.
like, getting so competitive, but it was like fun competition that basically pushed each other to be better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I mean, the spouse thing is a little tricky in that you would always have to set up some additional accountability because that spouse is not, you're in that house with them, and if they want to stock cookies and you don't want them, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
So you might have to talk to someone and talk yourself off a ledge, or just have your substitution there, or move their stuff to a different cabinet so you don't even see it,
Hmm.
kind of thing. Because the temptation is a bit higher. And in that case, you do kind of have to use a little bit more willpower than I think you normally would. Because in the
Yeah.
ideal situation, you would make it easy and you just get rid of everything.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, I think that comes into place with, like, our single clients
Mm-hmm.
versus our clients that have families or the
True.
spouse. And so
Even
I
kids.
think, huh?
Even kids.
Yeah, and kids too. So I think what you just brought up is very important to just reiterate. It's like that cabinet can be like, assign the cabinet to somebody. Like, you know what? That's your space. Put your stuff there. You know what I mean? So it's because it's
Right.
really big, out of sight, out of mind.
No, it's
You don't
true.
see it. That's a huge trigger
No,
visually.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really, really good.
Yeah.
So the last one of our C's is to be consistent.
Yeah.
I feel like this comes up all the time, mostly because, a lot of people, when it comes to dieting, especially if they're trying to lose weight, they've been doing this for years.
Hmm.
They've tried so many things. they might have short-lived victories. They kind of do this yo-yo metabolism dance their whole lives. And when they get to us, they're exhausted. They're
Yeah.
exhausted and they're like, I don't even know. Can you help me?
Hmm.
Um, so how do we, in your opinion, I guess, what would you say are like the things that people need to think about when it comes to consistency?
Well, I think it's like, setting that goal is like if once you when you have a goal, and I think it needs to be first having you have the big goal in mind, but then you need to set up your short-term goals, because I think when we're just focused on the big goal, and especially if it's a large goal, maybe 50 pounds I want to lose, or I want to, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
100 pounds sometimes, that when you set up smaller goals in something like this where we have 4 weeks, you have 4 weeks to kind of establish your first goal, your first milestone, so to speak. I think that's huge to help somebody stay consistent, because it's not too overwhelming. It's not like, oh God, I have 50 pounds to go. You know what I mean? That can be looming. And I think it's that's when you have those tools, and some of the tools that we brought into the program with the tracking, with the habit formation tracking as well, is key, and logging to kind of see where what you're doing, and where you're at. I think that's
Yeah.
the key part of it.
No, definitely. When it comes to consistency, I think of a bunch of things. I
Yeah.
think of, so the tools you just mentioned are perfect. Like people need tools sometimes. So first I go deeper and I go, what is preventing this person from being consistent?
Mhm.
Do they have subconscious programming that's perhaps getting in the way of them being consistent over time? If they've been yo-yo dieting their whole life, by the time they get to me, I think that there's some sort of trauma, emotional issue, or subconscious programming that might be getting in their way. And then I send them to our therapist.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, let me deal with that, and then
Mhm.
we could talk about how to be consistent. Because right now, I don't even think your mind is in the place to do the work.
Mhm.
Because you might do it, and then you're gonna fall off, and then it doesn't benefit. I'm wasting my time. You're wasting your time. We're not getting you the result that you want. So
Mhm.
I think that's one thing that I think about when it comes to consistency. I'm trying to think what else. Hmm.
I think, I mean, just to add on to that, I think with being consistent, this is really the last step in the program for a reason, because
Yeah.
it's setting you up for the lifestyle. So
Yeah.
once we have the consistency with some of the habits that we've been, implementing throughout the 4 weeks, at this point, the consistency is not like be consistent in restricting and not doing it. It's be consistent in creating your new habits and your
Yeah.
new changes to your lifestyle. So
Yes.
I think that's what's key at this point is consistency with, like, all right, meal prepping. What meals are you going to start to prep and have ready for your week? What is your exercise regimen going to be, or what is your what's the word I'm looking for, but your peace of mind, like the stuff that you're going to integrate to keep yourself sane, and so those
Yeah.
things I think are important.
No, now you reminded me what I was going to say, which was that's the key thing we always say in Staying Ageless: repeat, repeat, repeat.
Hmm.
Habits can't be formed without repetition.
Yeah.
So the consistency is really you repeating these habits over and over again to the point where they get so subconscious. I mean, if you're somebody who loves to work out, you can feel it. If you go a whole week without working out, you feel strange. You feel
Yeah.
odd. You want to get back to the gym, or you want to get back to your workout because your body doesn't feel right, your mind doesn't feel right. But that's because you've created such consistency that
Yep.
you have a new normal. And so your new normal doesn't allow you to handle this. It's like, no, we're gonna go to the gym tomorrow.
We don't feel good, and
We
I
don't
can
feel
attest to that. Like I felt like once I established that pattern of, like, this is my lifestyle, I just work out 4 to 5 times a week, and when I miss it 3 days in a row, I have a headache. I don't feel good. I'm sluggish, and I know
right.
that's my body cueing. And so when you get to that point, it's like it's that consistency that it's a new lifestyle, like you said. It's a new norm.
Definitely.
Key.
Definitely. So those are our 4 C's.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you think?
I think it's just I think the key thing with all of this, I mean, just to reiterate, what the whole point of creating a program like this was really to end the diet cycling and
Yes.
and understand, like, you're not just detoxifying the food, right? You're detoxifying your life, your lifestyle. Some of all of these things kind of intermingle, like your sleep patterns, your social things, the things that you do to heal your body, to find your inner peace and stuff like that. So I think that is like, for this type of program, what we had in mind was to establish that for people, to get them out of that yo-yo cycling and understand how to you can transform your life and create habit forming, lifestyle trends, so to speak, in 30 days, which is possible, very possible.
Yeah, no, I love that and totally agree. And I guess the other thing I would add is, yeah, I feel like the biggest or one of the biggest things that I've learned through seeing clients is that the work that I'm doing with them is not just about their diet and their health.
Hmm.
So it then bleeds into their relationships, it bleeds into their work, career choices. I mean, we have people in HBA right now, they're getting better and they're like, yeah, I don't even go to that job anymore. And I'm like, what? Oh, cool. You know?
Yeah,
So it's like people, I've seen it time and time again. I was like, I don't want to become the nutritionist where everyone quits their job, but
I was
that
just about to bring that up. I was like, you have that special thing where very life changing, but it's real
it's
because
real because you have to examine your priorities. It's like, what is my priority? If this job is sucking away my life, if it's not feeding my purpose, then what is keeping me there? Because in not in Western medicine, but in all of the ancient forms of medicine, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, balance and health also has to do with you working in your purpose and being in harmony with your
mhm.
environment, including where you work and
Yeah,
how you
absolutely.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, that's huge, because I think what some people find with when they're working with you, or even with me, is that those things are not serving them, and those things are preventing them actually from reaching their goals. That job was so toxic that they don't even have time to meditate for 10 minutes, or to get in a walk, or to cook a meal, and it's
Yes.
creating, the unhealthy habits and relationships in their life. So,
Yes. And I don't know how many times I've had to say to somebody, if you died tomorrow from exhaustion and anxiety and all the things that you're feeling right now, would your boss care?
or will
And
they
for
be placing the next job ad for the
or
next
will they just
person?
be placing
Right.
the next job ad and looking for somebody else? And it really makes people go, you know what? Actually, I don't even think these people care about me. I'll be good, you
Right.
know? So then it gives you more permission to focus on yourself. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to quit right then, but it's like,
Right.
okay, let me set boundaries. Let me sign off at 5 instead of like lingering for 2 hours, or let me, start improving communication things that upset me during the day or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I find, and working with our clients, I think those are the most successful people that understand they have to create that boundary. And then that creates the room that really removes the block for most people,
Yes.
creating those boundaries of what's preventing them from reclaiming their health, reclaiming their, happiness, or reclaiming a healthy lifestyle.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So for those of you guys listening, you can check out Detox My Life. Again, it is a 30-day plant-based lifestyle change program that helps walk you through. You also get a short smoothie cleanse. You get a bunch of recipes. You get there's video education. There's other education in there, and it's really to help you kind of renew your mind and get your life right, child. So So you could go to stayingagelessuniversity.com or go to therawgirl.com and click classes, and you will see Detox My Life there. And if you're interested in working with Gina, you can find Gina on therawgirl.com. She does coaching in the Hormonal Balancing Academy, and she also sees private clients. And if there's anyone out there who has a lot of weight to lose, definitely come and see us. Come and see Gina. Sign up for a 20-minute meet and greet with her because she has experience with dealing with people who really have like a great deal of weight and accelerating their progress.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Come
you
see
so much.
me. Yeah, thank you.